If you want to learn more about how to volunteer with us, visit playford.sa.gov.au/volunteers. Feedback about our city's future from our community is really important. It helps us prioritise your needs when planning services, projects and other initiatives.
A convenient way to have your say and stay in the loop on any upcoming consultations is by registering your details on our Engagement Hub website at playford.engagementhub.com.au.
We look forward to hearing from you.
Have you visited the Stratton Centre on Peachy Road, Manapara? Designed to support growth in the city of Playford, the centre offers dedicated workspaces from less than $10 per day. There's also state-of-the-art event and meeting spaces for hire, a complimentary business support service to help you upskill, apply for grants and grow, workshops and networking, as well as training for young kids right through to adults, plus the City of Playford Library.
Contact our team for a tour on 8254 4666 or visit the Stratton Centre at 307 Peachy Road, Manapara.
Support your local theatre and arts industry and enjoy a show at the Shedley. Playford's iconic Shedley Theatre is bringing a great selection of local and national performances to Elizabeth.
For more information on their upcoming shows, visit theshedley.com.au or call 8256 0500.
Did you know your food scraps should go in the green bin or a home compost system? It's better for the environment. It's the right thing to do. And it's easy. Fight food waste by putting all your food scraps, peels and leftovers in the green bin. To find out more, visit playford.sa.gov.au/fightfoodwaste.
Want to know what's happening in the community? Subscribe to our e-newsletter, Playford News, at playford.sa.gov.au and you'll be on top of stories, news and what's happening in Playford. It's local news for local people.
Want to get involved in your community? There are so many benefits in becoming a volunteer at City of Playford, including meeting new people, developing new skills, sharing your talents, improving your employability, as well as enhancing your own mental health and well-being.
If you want to learn more about how to volunteer with us, visit playford.sa.gov.au/volunteers. Feedback about our city's future from our community is really important. It helps us prioritise your needs when planning services, projects and other initiatives.
A convenient way to have your say and stay in the loop on any upcoming consultations is by registering your details on our Engagement Hub website at playford.engagementhub.com.au.
We look forward to hearing from you.
Have you visited the Stratton Centre on Peachy Road, Manapara? Designed to support growth in the city of Playford, the centre offers dedicated workspaces from less than $10 per day. There's also state-of-the-art event and meeting spaces for hire, a complimentary business support service to help you upskill, apply for grants and grow, workshops and networking, as well as training for young kids right through to adults. Plus, the City of Playford Library.
Contact our team for a tour on 8254 4666 or visit the Stretton Centre at 307 Peachy Road, Manopara.
Support your local theatre and arts industry and enjoy a show at the Shedley. Playford's iconic Shedley Theatre is bringing a great selection of local and national performances to Elizabeth.
For more information on their upcoming shows, visit theshedley.com.au or call 8256 0500.
Did you know your food scraps should go in the green bin or a home compost system? It's better for the environment. It's the right thing to do. And it's easy. Fight food waste by putting all your food scraps, peels and leftovers in the green bin. To find out more, visit playford.sa.gov.au/fightfoodwaste.
Want to know what's happening in the community? Subscribe to our e-newsletter, Playford News, at playford.sa.gov.au and you'll be on top of stories, news and what's happening in Playford. It's local news for local people.
Want to get involved in your community? There are so many benefits in becoming a volunteer at City of Playford, including meeting new people, developing new skills, sharing your talents, improving your employability, as well as enhancing your own mental health and well-being.
If you want to learn more about how to volunteer with us, visit playford.sa.gov.au/volunteers. Feedback about our city's future from our community is really important. It helps us prioritise your needs when planning services, projects and other initiatives.
A convenient way to have your say and stay in the loop on any upcoming consultations is by registering your details on our Engagement Hub website at playford.engagementhub.com.au.
We look forward to hearing from you.
Have you visited the Stretton Centre on Peachy Road, Manopara? Designed to support growth in the city of Playford, the centre offers dedicated workspaces from less than $10 per day. There's also state-of-the-art event and meeting spaces for hire, a complimentary business support service to help you upskill, apply for grants and grow, workshops and networking, as well as training for young kids right through to adults. Plus, the City of Playford Library.
Contact our team for a tour on 8254 4666 or visit the Stretton Centre at 307 Peachy Road, Manopara.
Support your local theatre and arts industry and enjoy a show at the Shedley. Playford's iconic Shedley Theatre is bringing a great selection of local and national performances to Elizabeth.
For more information on their upcoming shows, visit theshedley.com.au or call 8256 0500.
Did you know your food scraps should go in the green bin or a home compost system? It's better for the environment. It's the right thing to do. And it's easy. Fight food waste by putting all your food scraps, peels and leftovers in the green bin. To find out more, visit playford.sa.gov.au/fightfoodwaste.
Want to know what's happening in the community? Subscribe to our e-newsletter, Playford News, at playford.sa.gov.au and you'll be on top of stories, news and what's happening in Playford. It's local news for local people.
Want to get involved in your community? There are so many benefits in becoming a volunteer at City of Playford, including meeting new people, developing new skills, sharing your talents, improving your employability, as well as enhancing your own mental health and well-being.
If you want to learn more about how to volunteer with us, visit playford.sa.gov.au/volunteers. Feedback about our city's future from our community is really important. It helps us prioritise your needs when planning services, projects and other initiatives.
A convenient way to have your say and stay in the loop on any upcoming consultations is by registering your details on our Engagement Hub website at playford.engagementhub.com.au.
We look forward to hearing from you.
Have you visited the Stratton Centre on Peachy Road, Manapara? Designed to support growth in the city of Playford, the centre offers dedicated workspaces from less than $10 per day. There's also state-of-the-art event and meeting spaces for hire, a complimentary business support service to help you upskill, apply for grants and grow, workshops and networking, as well as training for young kids right through to adults. Plus, the City of Playford Library.
Contact our team for a tour on 8254 4666 or visit the Stratton Centre at 307 Peachy Road, Manapara.
Support your local theatre and arts industry and enjoy a show at the Shedley. Playford's iconic Shedley Theatre is bringing a great selection of local and national performances to Elizabeth.
For more information on their upcoming shows, visit theshedley.com.au or call 8256 0500.
Did you know your food scraps should go in the green bin or a home compost system? It's better for the environment. It's the right thing to do. And it's easy. Fight food waste by putting all your food scraps, peels and leftovers in the green bin. To find out more, visit playford.sa.gov.au/fightfoodwaste.
Want to know what's happening in the community? Subscribe to our e-newsletter, Playford News, at playford.sa.gov.au, and you'll be on top of stories, news and what's happening in Playford. It's local news for local people.
Want to get involved in your community? There are so many benefits in becoming a volunteer at City of Playford, including meeting new people, developing new skills, sharing your talents, improving your employability, as well as enhancing your own mental health and well-being.
If you want to learn more about how to volunteer with us, visit playford.sa.gov.au/volunteers. Feedback about our city's future from our community is really important. It helps us prioritise your needs when planning services, projects and other initiatives.
A convenient way to have your say and stay in the loop on any upcoming consultations is by registering your details on our Engagement Hub website at playford.engagementhub.com.au.
We look forward to hearing from you.
Have you visited the Stratton Centre on Peachy Road, Manapara? Designed to support growth in the city of Playford, the centre offers dedicated workspaces from less than $10 per day. There's also state-of-the-art event and meeting spaces for hire, a complimentary business support service to help you upskill, apply for grants and grow, workshops and networking, as well as training for young kids right through to adults. Plus, the City of Playford Library.
Contact our team for a tour on 8254 4666 or visit the Stratton Centre at 307 Peachy Road, Manopara.
Support your local theatre and arts industry and enjoy a show at the Shedley. Playford's iconic Shedley Theatre is bringing a great selection of local and national performances to Elizabeth.
For more information on their upcoming shows, visit theshedley.com.au or call 8256 0500.
Did you know your food scraps should go in the green bin or a home compost system? It's better for the environment. It's the right thing to do. And it's easy. Fight food waste by putting all your food scraps, peels and leftovers in the green bin. To find out more, visit playford.sa.gov.au/fightfoodwaste.
Want to know what's happening in the community? Subscribe to our e-newsletter, Playford News, at playford.sa.gov.au, and you'll be on top of stories, news and what's happening in Playford. It's local news for local people.
Want to get involved in your community? There are so many benefits in becoming a volunteer at City of Playford, including meeting new people, developing new skills, sharing your talents, improving your employability, as well as enhancing your own mental health and well-being.
If you want to learn more about how to volunteer with us, visit playford.sa.gov.au/volunteers. Feedback about our city's future from our community is really important. It helps us prioritise your needs when planning services, projects and other initiatives.
A convenient way to have your say and stay in the loop on any upcoming consultations is by registering your details on our Engagement Hub website at playford.engagementhub.com.au.
We look forward to hearing from you.
Have you visited the Stratton Centre on Peachy Road, Manapara? Designed to support growth in the city of Playford, the centre offers dedicated workspaces from less than $10 per day. There's also state-of-the-art event and meeting spaces for hire, a complimentary business support service to help you upskill, apply for grants and grow, workshops and networking, as well as training for young kids right through to adults. Plus, the City of Playford Library.
Contact our team for a tour on 8254 4666 or visit the Stratton Centre at 307 Peachy Road, Manopara.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Would you please stand for His Worship the Mayor?
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Please be seated. Welcome to tonight's Ordinary Council meeting. I'll open the meeting at 7:01 and I'll call for apologies. I've received one apology from Councillor Norris this evening. I don't believe there is any other apologies from members. So we'll go to item 2, confirmation of minutes of the Ordinary Council meeting held on the 28th of April 2026, be confirmed as a true and accurate record of proceedings. All right. Councillor Smallwood-Smith.
Yes, thank you. I'm happy to move the minutes, but I would like to add a correction to them, if I may.
Yes.
In the last month's meeting, I made a comment about the passing of Morris McCartney from the Grenville. I would like to have his name corrected, please. It's a misspelling. I have given the minute taker the correct spelling of that, so if that could happen, please.
Yes, so we'll confirm the minutes of true and accurate record except for the amend Morris to Morris, which is on the screen there. Does that item find a seconder?
Happy to
Seconded by
second.
Councillor Onyazas. Does anybody else wish to make any comment or changes to the said minutes? Anyone wish to speak on those minutes or a potential amendment? Then if not, then I'll put that. Those in favour, those against, I declare that carried. Now, councillors, we'll go to item 11.1, which is our public hearing for the 2026-27 business plan. In accordance with Section 123 of the Local Government Act 1999, a council must invite interested persons to attend a public meeting to ask questions and make submissions in relation to the draft annual business plan for a period of at least 1 hour. So I will open that item at 7:03 p.m. And councillors, as you know, we are entitled to have members of the public come to the meeting this evening at any time within that hour, and if there is more members throughout that time that come, then obviously we need to hear those. We have had a number of people register with the council who wish to be heard in relation to the annual business plan, and we'll start in the order in which we've received those from members of the public. So I'll ask Mr. Jose Litra, if he is present, to come forward, please. If you can just come down to the podium here. We'll give you a little bit of a introduction. So Sarah's just getting some items ready for you, and I do know that you have a couple of slides that you wish to talk to in relation to your presentation. So our usual practice is that you'll have 5 minutes to speak. At the 4-minute mark, if you're still going, we'll give you a reminder that you've got a minute left. At the conclusion of your presentation, there may be some questions from the elected member body. Your time will start when you start speaking. and there usually is a glass of water. You've got the clicker, and usually a glass of water nearby if you need it. I'm not sure.
Yeah. Hello.
And they've already been given bottles. Excellent. So whenever you are ready, over to you.
Thank you. All right. Thank you very much for inviting me today. Good afternoon to everyone. Thank you for being here today. My name is Jose Litre, and I'm here to talk about something that affects every family in our growing community, how the children get safely to and from St. Columba School. This is a community proposal built on the concerns and ideas of local parents and residents. So let's start with some context. City of Playford, as we know, is the fastest growing council in South Australia. We are welcoming roughly 10 new residents every single day. 3 major estates are actually being built. As we know, we got Tudor Bell, Brookmont Estate, and St. Andrews. And they are also expanding very quickly. And with that growth also comes, obviously, a lot of kids that they are going to school. One of the things we notice is the infrastructure around the school is it's difficult to catch up. And there are some safety measures that we need to think about it. Let's move to the next slide. Oops. There we go. Got it. Thank you. So what does it look in the ground? So first, there is not a safe crossing in Andrews Road or Curtis Roads. Kids and parents are actually dodging the traffic. As you know, that intersection is quite dangerous for the kids to go through. Also, there is not a really dedicated cycleway around the Aldi area and Andrews Road and Curtis. And the third one is kids coming from Tudor Bell, which is a new development. There is no any way to cross at the moment Curtis Road, which I can see daily, and that makes it quite dangerous for them to go through and go to the other side for going to school in St. Columba. Everything gets pretty bad at the moment when it's rush hour, right? So a lot of traffic, a lot of people getting quite impatient, just because we know the congestion traffic is, gets pretty bad in that area. So there is a missing link. In that presentation that you see there is actually the current situation, but also it's a really good opportunity there. Not many people know there is a really good little cycleway already in place that takes the kids from, including my son, from Andrews Farm to St. Columba, but that stops on the St. Columba Oval. That part is actually unfinished, and it will be fantastic if it can be completed on one area that is quite short, but it needs to be concrete in, so the kids can go and ride the bikes to the school. So the good news is actually a solution there. What I'm proposing are 3 actions. The first one is to have a dedicated cycleway that takes the kids from Tudor Bell, Brookmont, and St. Andrews directly to school. The second one is to have a safe control crossing on Curtis Road and Andrews Road. And I'm very happy to say that, as obviously all of you know, there will be a traffic light being built in that intersection. So that's actually a really good win for people living in the area. And then the third is the possibility for kids to walk and ride the bikes or scooters to St. Columba, just across in President Avenue.
1 minute.
Thank you. And just a final slide there. It might be a little bit hard to read on the left-hand side. It's a Google Map photo that shows where, I don't know if my pointer can be seen there. No, that's okay. But basically that shows where the traffic light will be located at some point. And then the black dotted line is existing cycleway. What I'm proposing is that little red marker. It's only about 500, 600 meters that the cycleway is none. It doesn't exist. And that will connect actually that cycleway with President Avenue, where is the little school, well, not a little school, St. Columba School. So that's my proposition. Obviously, happy to take any questions or comments, and thanks again for giving me the opportunity to present today.
Excellent. Right on time.
Thank you.
There we go. Look at that. Perfect. Does anyone have any questions? Are there any questions, any comments? Councillor Halls.
Thank you, Your Worship. Are we allowed to have a copy of this presentation, please? And thank you very much for bringing this to our attention. I'm sure that sometimes things slip through. So from the oval to the school, is that got houses on it? Where the red, where you've got red,
Yeah,
I'm assuming?
Actually, there is no houses there, so it's like quite interesting. So you have the backyards of residential area,
Yeah.
and then next to the oval, basically there's just maybe 500 meters wide path that connects from the cycleway to President Avenue. So what I know is just basically there's our water course in there, but it could be easily space for building a cycleway on that little section. I didn't want to bring Google Maps because it will get a bit confusing, but it's not a long area to go.
I'm pretty sure I know where it is.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. You can see it from President Avenue when you're driving there, just after the roundabout. Yeah, thank you.
Councillor Vanderpeer.
Thanks, Mayor Doherty. I have a question for staff, so I wasn't sure if anyone else had questions first.
Lovely. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Mayor Doherty. It's just in relation to the Missing Links program. I just wasn't sure if this has been picked up within that program, and if not, is it something we're able to identify through the Missing Links?
Good question. We'll ask Ms Mitson if she's able to provide a response. Mr Whitford.
Through the Mayor. Yes, so the transport strategy was released last year, indicates an action to look at the walking cycling network maps with a focus on activity around shopping centres, schools, health precincts, playgrounds, parks and sporting areas, and we're looking at starting that review in the third quarter of this year, and that will look at missing links. In addition, the transport strategy talked about an action to look at school road safety plans for each of our school precincts. We've done some work on some pilot sites, and St Columba site is now scheduled for September 2026. So we'll actually go out there, do some observations, see where the children are going, where they're crossing, where there's issues with parking and traffic movements, and yeah, that's kicking off in September 2026.
Thank you, and hopefully that provides a little bit more context for you too, Mr Leitra. We now have another presentation from Mr Peter Sekafine. Peter, if you can come forward, please. You may remember Peter from his deputation at a previous meeting. I know you've done this before, but I'll give you a little bit of a spill. You have up to 5 minutes. At the 4-minute mark, if you're still going, we'll give you a 1-minute reminder. Your time will start when you start speaking. There is a bottle of water which you've already received, and at the conclusion of your presentation in relation to the annual business plan, there may be some questions from the councillors. So over to you when you're ready.
Good evening, Mayor and Councillors. Good evening, Mayor and Councillors. Thank you again for the opportunity to address Council regarding the ongoing concerns surrounding Odgers and O'Loughlin roads in Virginia. Firstly, we'd like to acknowledge and appreciate that Council has recognised the seriousness of the issue raised by residents and has allocated funding towards short to medium term safety measures. However, we are here tonight to respectfully request that Council reconsiders its decision not to include detailed design in this year's annual business plan and budget. While temporary safety measures may provide a visual response to the issue, they do not adequately address the core problems facing these roads, nor do they sufficiently mitigate the risks to public safety. The proposed measures to block or only allow access via some form of barricades at either end of the roads are unlikely to provide meaningful long-term safety improvements. Realistically, these measures would largely be ignored or bypassed by motorists. They will do little to resolve the underlying dangers caused by extremely narrow road widths, the deteriorating road surface and broken edges, the absence of footpaths, and the increased volume of traffic expected from land developments. Pedestrians and children will still be forced to walk dangerously close to moving vehicles. Parents with prams and elderly residents will still be required to navigate unsafe conditions daily. The risk remains fundamentally unchanged. We acknowledge that Council itself did not approve the surrounding land subdivision. However, the reality is that the substantial residential development now exists and further expansion is expected around Odgers and O'Loughlin roads. As the Council is the governing local authority responsible for community infrastructure, it now has a responsibility to ensure these roads are upgraded to the appropriate urban standard that reflects their current and future use. The Council has committed funding in its annual business plan towards several other road upgrade projects throughout the City of Playford, some after many years of community requests and infrastructure backlog. Those requests are important and deserving. Odgers and O'Loughlin Road present Council with an opportunity to demonstrate Playford as a forward-thinking council, one willing to proactively address infrastructure challenges before they become critical and exponentially more expensive. Over the coming years, hundreds more additional residents will rely on these roads daily. The Virginia Grove development and surrounding growth corridors will significantly increase both traffic and pedestrian activity. Rather than waiting another decade for repeated requests, worsening safety outcomes and escalating construction costs, Council has the opportunity now to begin the detailed design process and properly plan for the inevitable upgrades that these roads will require. Funding the detailed design does not commit Council to immediate full construction expenditure. Instead, it demonstrates a strategic planning and allows Council to properly scope stage upgrade options, seek future state or federal grant opportunities, prepare adequate construction costings, and ensure the project is shovel-ready when funding opportunities arise. The Council has an opportunity tonight to send a strong message to the Virginia community that it is listening, planning ahead, and committed to delivering infrastructure that matches the growth occurring within the region. In closing, we respectfully ask Council to reconsider its position and include funding for detailed design of Odgers and O'Loughlin Road within this year's annual business plan. We further ask Council staff here tonight if adding detailed design to the business plan will trigger any rate rise or if the current rate of increase will remain the same. This is simply not about roads, it's about protecting families, supporting future growth responsibly, and ensuring that critical infrastructure keeps pace with the community it serves. Thank you for your time and consideration.
You've still got 50-something odd seconds if you want to use them.
I'm happy to take questions.
Happy to take questions. Okay, no worries. Are there any questions or any comments in relation to Peter's presentation? Councillor Rentals.
Thank you, Mayor. I've got a question for staff, just in relation to Mr. Sekafini's...
Just before we ask a question for staff, is there anyone that's got a question for Peter Sekafini? Nobody else does, then thank you very much for your deputation, or representation, I should say. Councillor Rentals.
Thank you, Mayor. The rhetorical question was asked by Mr. Sekafini in relation to the impact on the annual business plan. Will there be, if detailed design was included in the annual business plan, what would be the result of that on a potential rate rise? Is there any impact?
Mr. Colhane.
Through the Mayor, thank you for the question, Councillor. The operating, the capital expenditure to undertake detailed design is approximately $390,000, and associated with that would budget for $32,000 of operating costs. Those operating costs would not influence increase to the current rate rise that's proposed in the annual business plan. The reason being is that operating funds would be offset by new rate revenue.
Yeah, thank you. So just to confirm, no impact, no increase to the rates.
Through the Mayor, that is correct.
All right, Councillor Van der Peer.
Thanks, Mayor Doherty. Just a comment around the annual business plan process. I think one of my personal frustrations has been a lot of these conversations being had in confidence and not being able to sort of communicate reasoning for decisions like this to the community. So for the benefit of our community members who are really passionate about this issue and are doing the right thing by bringing this to our attention, are we able to get a bit of a reasoning from staff as to why they considered a council resolution but didn't ultimately include the detailed design in the budget?
Mr. Colhane.
Through the Mayor, thank you for the question, Councillor. Just to confirm, is your question in relation to why Council didn't consider or Council administration didn't consider the Council resolution in a public forum?
Sorry, just to respond to that, it was more why the administration didn't recommend funding the detailed design in the budget.
Yep. Through developing the annual business plan, staff worked with the elected members to set a number of parameters for the upcoming annual business plan and budget. Those parameters were quite limited. Went through a number of information sessions to determine what could be delivered in terms of infrastructure, new infrastructure within those parameters. Staff recommendation at the time was in line with the transport strategy. Odgers and Lachlan Road isn't a high priority. There are 91 other priorities listed in the transport strategy. As you recall, 4 options were presented and discussed with a staff recommendation to implement a safety measure. I guess one of the other issues has been that when undertaking detailed design of an infrastructure project, that does set an expectation to the community that the execution and implementation and construction will follow soon after. And as you sort of pointed out this evening already, there are a number of transport infrastructure related projects in that detailed design phase, which also need to be funded. So there will be capacity issues once all of those projects are ready to be funded for execution.
All right, and I would remind councillors that we still have the opportunity to listen in here, and obviously we, as the elected body, endorse the budget. Just a reminder that there's still time to make any amendments if councillors wish to do so. We have another representation from Ms. Catherine Hunter. I know you've seen the other two, but I've just got to give you a little bit of the précis here. Yeah. You have 5 minutes, Ms. Hunter. At the 4-minute mark, if you're still going, I'll give you a reminder that you have 1 minute left. Your time will start when you start speaking. I believe you had a bottle of water given to you before your presentation. At the conclusion of your remarks, please stay at the podium, as there may be some questions from the elected member body, and your time will start when you start speaking. So over to you.
All right, well, good evening, councillors, Mayor. I won't take up the whole 5 minutes. I just came up, I wanted to take a moment to reiterate what Peter has just said and presented. and that is that this is not some backwater rural road. It is a main access road to the town centre, and most importantly to the school. Now, with that in mind, in the spirit of full disclosure, I do have to admit that none of us, as I'm fairly certain none of you, would let your children actually walk to school on that road. It's dangerous enough for adults, let alone children. I can, however, guarantee that not all of the 100+ families that are moving into Virginia Park development will share that same privilege. For this reason, I'm asking you all to please reconsider, show some compassion to these families and include the design in the budget plan. We should all be able to send our kids to school without fear of them being hit by a car. And one thing is certain, if we don't do anything, it won't be a matter of when it happens, but if it happens, but when. Thank you very much for your time. Yes, I just wanted to reiterate, Peter addressed everything that we wanted to say. One other thing, though, is the missing link thing that you're talking about, providing safe pathways to schools and sports facilities, etc. How does Odgers Road come about that? Obviously, there's a lot of families that will be using this as a direct pathway. Is this not a missing link?
We'll get someone to respond to that at the end of your presentation. If you've still got about 3 minutes, so
that's
it's up
right.
to you.
I'm done. Thank you.
Okay, no worries. Well, is there any questions for Ms Hunter before I'll get one of the staff to respond to her question? Councillor Rentoulis.
Thank you, Mayor. Thank you, Catherine, for being here tonight. So my understanding is you've spoken with other residents on the street. What's the consensus, or what do you believe is the feel of residents in relation to the proposed short-term measures compared to detailed design not being in the budget for construction?
We've already been in a position for the last couple of months where they are doing improvements on Sheedy Road. So the roads have been blocked off and closed to traffic. However, we're still getting traffic coming through because people just ignore it. They just come through anyway. The roads have gotten in worse condition, and yeah, I don't think it's going to work. So, and especially once the Virginia Park development starts open, well, it's finished now, it's completed now. We expect people to start building in there soon. So once we've got families living there, it's going to be completely different. Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you.
Does anyone else have any questions for Ms Hunter? Councillor Marsh. Okay. Is there anyone else wishing to ask a question? No? Or if not, thank you very much for your presentation, and I'll get the staff to answer Ms Hunter's questions first, then I'll go to Councillor Marsh. Mr Whitford.
Thank you. Through the Mayor. Thanks for the question. So Virginia is a medium-term project in terms of looking at the school road safety projects. So it's going to take a few projects to get through. We're only getting through about 6 precincts a year. We've got some 30 precincts to get through. So yeah, working diligently through that list. However, the road would also need curb and gutter and stormwater before we could actually provide that missing link. So yeah, it does need those facilities first. Thank you.
Councillor Marsh.
Yeah, thanks, Mayor Doherty. Just in light of the underinvestment in these connections across the city of Playford, can I just ask staff, going forwards, what actions are we taking to address these going forward? So when we have another estate pop up where they want to sign off and have approval for 200 odd allotments, what are we now going to be doing to ensure that the history doesn't continue to reoccur into the near future, i.e. like this, so we don't have this again on surrounding streets not being urbanised?
Mr Dedeen.
Through the Chair, each application will need a case-by-case consideration against the relevant provisions of the Planning and Design Code, to which we're constrained in elements of our assessment.
We have no other Councillor Craig.
Yeah, thanks, Mr Mayor. I suppose these presentations tonight and the council response kind of seems to highlight that we're playing catch up. There's a lot of works that we've got a backlog to catch up on. I know it's all a question of salaries and budget and all of that, but it does make you wonder, especially with these new developments, this massive influx of new population to the area, the infrastructure may be lagging somewhat, and the lagging time it takes to actually get some of this administrative work done. I just wanted maybe a response from the CEO, maybe just thoughts on this. It's obviously we're under pressure. It sounds like our planning people are under pressure. Maybe we're understaffed. I know it's all a question of salaries and budget, but whether some works we could outsource or whether there's creative ways we could clear some of this backlog and get through some of this work that it seems like there's, as we've heard about lists of priorities, 90 odd, whatever it was, or 30 odd the other one, and you think, how are we going to catch up with that? If we're only doing 5 every year or something, it's almost like we're not going to be able to achieve what we need to for the safety of our residents. I'm just a bit alarmed, really, the thought that naturally there's these access ways to schools that, there is that risk that someone could get hurt, children could get run over. We know that it's a juggling act for all of us, and whether we've just got to think some other way of funding the staffing to be able to manage some of this backlog. Just some thoughts would help, maybe some context.
Mr. Graham.
Through the Mayor, thanks, Councillor Craig. You've articulated very well the challenge that the City of Playford face. I might just make some broad comments, and it might be useful for the gallery tonight too. The areas that we're seeing growing at the moment, particularly around Virginia Anglevale, Playford North Extension, were all subject to infrastructure deeds that were developed 15 years ago now. They were the first of their kind in the state, and in many respects were leading the way and have served us, I'll say, reasonably well, but they weren't without fault. And things like Odges and O'Loughlin's probably an example of, if we had our time again, they probably should have been picked up in that process, which would have ensured that there was more developer contribution towards upgrading of those roads, hopefully in advance. Fast forward to today, and the City of Playford, in conjunction with the state government, have been working really hard on the modern day version of that, which is now legislated as infrastructure schemes. They're new in their infancy, but they're basically an evolved version of infrastructure deeds, and we think that implemented properly, they will provide more timely delivery of infrastructure across the state. And to be fair, the growth that we're experiencing is unprecedented at a state level, and I think everybody's been playing catch up when it comes to how that's managed. But I'm pleased to say today that I think at a state level, working in conjunction with us at local government, it's as good as it's been. And we're certainly trying to learn from some of the challenges of the past and improve into the future. That's a broad comment around the mechanisms that we get to use. With respect to delivery, and it's not, from my perspective, it's not really a staffing issue and a salary issue. It's an issue of financial contribution, which the council has to weigh up when it comes to rate increases. So we're contemplating here a 3.5% rate increase. If you're talking about funding all of our infrastructure sooner, then there's a cost that comes with that. But there's also a capacity to which the community can absorb that. For example, if I use the example we've been talking about tonight, we really couldn't have upgraded all those roads at the same time because it creates a gridlock in that localised area. So what we are trying to do is sequence the works to make sure that we can keep traffic flow through those areas, and we understand that creates inconvenience in some areas, and that's regrettable. But we are trying to do it as quickly as we can, but in a sequenced fashion, so we don't actually lock down these areas. And we've had the same challenge, or we've got the same challenges in Anglevale around there's a number of roads there that we'd like to do, ideally sooner rather than later, but we do have to keep traffic moving in these areas. In addition to that, some of these roads aren't our roads, they're state roads, so we rely on the state works being done in a sequence fashion as well. And we spend a lot of time, as you know, trying to make sure that the state programs are implemented along with our programs. So it's not as simple as saying we just pay more people to do it. There's an actual capacity limitation to this. And when we talk about roads, it's not just a road seal. We've got to talk about curb and gutter. We've got to talk about stormwater, which we don't see, which is under the ground, which is very expensive. We talk about footpaths and all those important things that go with it. So the costs are quite significant, and I think it's difficult for the council to absorb all of that in one hit. So what we are trying to do is deliver it as quickly as possible, but also over time. And I think we're getting better at it. As I said, this is kind of new, and I know 2010 sounds like a while ago, but in that last 15-year period, as a state, we've grown up a lot when it comes to how to manage growth, and we're better positioned today. And to be honest, City of Playford has had to wear the brunt of a lot of that, but we're also probably now a leader when it comes to how to do this effectively. And we keep trying to improve, we keep trying to do it better, but we have to make sure that we're giving quality community outcomes at the same time. So, sorry, long answer, but I think that was worthwhile just to give the full context.
Thank you, Mr. Grant. Councillors, we have no other persons that have registered to speak. However, we are required under Section 123 of the Local Government Act 1999 to have our public hearing open to the public for at least an hour. Are there any members currently in the gallery who wish to make a submission in relation to the 2026-27 business plan? If you do, just raise your hand and we can get you to come down the front and have your representation. Is there anybody here wishing to make a representation in relation to the 2026-27 business plan? We'll just ask our staff to check outside of the room to see if there's any members of the public in the Great Hall or surrounds. Are there any members there? No. If any members of the gallery do wish to change their mind and make a representation for the 2026-27 business plan, just raise your hand to get our attention and we will call you up. So if there's no other persons wishing to be heard at this point in time in relation to a section 123, then I'll continue on with the agenda, but I'll remind councillors that if we do have any other members of the public wishing to make a representation, we will stop at the point they come in and to hear their presentation as we're required under section 123. So we'll move on to item 3 of our agenda, which is declarations of interest. Are there any declarations from members? Councillor Baker.
Thank you, Mr Mayor. I'd like to declare a material interest in items 14.3, 17.1 and 17.2. 14.3, I am a board member of a grant application, and 17.1 and 2, I'm a deputy board member of Norma. So I'll be withdrawing my chair.
Thank you, Councillor Baker. Are there any other declarations of interest? Councillor Halls.
Thank you, Your Worship. I'd like to declare a material declaration of interest. I am on the board of the Playford Community Fund, and they are going for a grant in 14.3, and I will leave the room.
Thank you, Councillor Halls. Are there any other declaration of interest? Councillor Carlson.
Mayor, same. I've got a material declaration of interest for 14.3. I'm a board member of one of the applicants, and I'll leave the room. Thanks.
Thank you, Councillor Carlson. Are there any other declarations? Councillor Kerrison.
Thank you, Mayor Doherty. Declare 17.1 and 17.2. I'm a board member of Norma, and I'll be leaving the room. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Kerrison. Are there any other declarations? Councillor Marsh.
Yeah, thanks, Mayor Doherty. I'm also going to declare a declaration of interest material for items 17.1 and 17.2 as they are related to the Norma Corporation, and as a result I am a Norma board member and I will be leaving the room and not participating in the debate.
Thank you. Are there any other declarations? Councillors, I'll declare a general conflict of interest in item 17.3, 2026-27 rate rebates and attachments. I'm a member of some organisations listed in the rebate schedule, and as there is potential for a rebate to be issued, to avoid the perception of any bias or any perceived perception or any potential conflict of interest, I'll declare a general conflict of interest in the item. I will not take part in the discussion or the debate and will leave the meeting when the item comes to the council. Are there any other declarations? If not, then we'll move on to item 4, Mayor's Report. Councillors, there's a number of items on the screen. We've had a number of events. It was wonderful to be part of the Playford Patriots Heritage Round, again with the Seamus Marin Memorial Game. There were citizenship ceremonies this month where we saw 157 new citizens become new Australian citizens, a number of different school events, the Northern Light Theatre Company is very successful, Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, a number of community meetings, wonderful variety of events from the Playford History Festival, and can I say that festival is growing each and every year, and one where lots and lots of young people in particular this year were able to participate. And a special shout out to the Manapara Primary School and Craigmore South Primary School that participated quite extensively. And to put it into perspective, it's about a quarter of Craigmore South Primary School actually attended the festival when the school day was here for the school festival part, which was fantastic. National Volunteer Week, again, many of you joined myself for the National Volunteer Week dinner and dance to represent the City of Playford and say thank you to our wonderful volunteers. And then there's a number of other services and events that are listed on the screen. And that's my Mayor's Report. So we'll go to item 5, reports of representatives of council on other organisations. Are there any? No. Before I go to the next item, is there any members of the gallery wishing to partake in a representation or presentation in relation to the 2026-27 business plan in accordance with section 123 of the Local Government Act 1999? A council must invite interested persons to attend a public meeting to ask questions and make submissions in relation to the draft annual business plan for a period of at least 1 hour. Are there any members of the gallery wishing to make a presentation? There are none, so we'll continue on. So as I said, item 5, reports of representatives on council and other organisations. Are there any? No. We go to reports by councillors. Are there any? Councillor Smallwood-Smith.
Thank you very much, Your Worship. Just on the item of attending the funeral for Morris McCartney, I'd just like to advise that on Tuesday the 9th of June there will be a high tea at the Grenville and it's $5 a head, and it's all the proceeds will go to the Cancer Foundation in memory of Morris McCartney.
Thank you, Councillor Smallwood-Smith. Any other councillors wishing to make a report? I know you've submitted a lot of items. Councillor Spiljanek.
Thank you, Mayor Doherty. I just want to echo the Mayor's statement with regards to the Volunteer Week dinner and dance on Friday night. It was so much fun and I hope the volunteers had a great time. Well done to the staff for putting on such a fantastic evening. It was wonderful. So I enjoyed the boogie up on the dance floor. Thank you.
Thank you, councillors. We'll note item 6.1, which is the information session record of attendance. We move to item 7, reports of representatives, conferences and training programs. Are there any this month? No. We move to item 8, questions on notice which are nil. Move to item 9, questions without notice. Are there any questions? Councillor Kerrison.
Thank you, Mayor Doherty. Just tonight, I just wanted to ask 2 questions. We previously had Council Resolution 6113 regarding bringing the tiers of government together. Just wanted an update on how that was proceeding at this point in time.
You, Councillor. Mr. Green.
Thank you. Through the Mayor, councillors, you will recall that that motion had a couple of elements to it. One was a series of information sessions to help refresh our internal knowledge about growth and the impacts at a local and a state level. We held a series of workshops that elected members all participated in around that. I think they were very successful, and we've collated a summary document of all of the information that came out of that. The other element associated with the resolution was to invite local MPs and federal MP to engage with the council around that. We suggested that an effective way of doing that might be via a bus tour, where we put some dates together for you to consider. We did invite the state and federal members to come along. For various reasons, they were unable to attend, and gave the feedback to the Mayor and myself that they felt that there was some good consistent forums that were already in place where the council could engage with both the state and federal government around these sorts of issues. So that's the status of that. And from a staff perspective, we believe we've satisfied the resolution, having conducted those sessions and attempted to create the forum where we would get together.
Councillor Kerrison.
Thank you. The second question was obviously one of the things that would have been good to do on a bus tour, if everyone was available to come to that, would have been to discuss Curtis Road. Now I've seen since then there's a community consultation on removing the level crossing. Has there been any engagement with us regarding that consultation, and do we have an opportunity to respond to that?
Mr Green.
Through the Mayor, yes, we've been engaging at an operational level with the government around that project, and we are also having representatives of the department come to brief council, I think on the 9th of June. So there'll be an interface between members of the department and the elected body where we can give some direct feedback around that project.
Thank you, Councillor Kerrison. Councillor Baker.
Thank you, Mr Mayor. Some 18 months ago, a joint venture between Renewal SA and Council resulted in Braemar Street Reserve being upgraded, and it was an absolutely outstanding success. That resulted in me having discussions over the past 12 months with my colleagues at Renewal SA over the possibility of Goodman Road having the same treatment. And I understand that there's been some positive decisions, and I ask that our administration advise the Chamber of these developments.
Mr Welsh.
Through the Mayor, so we've had 2 meetings to date with the SA Housing Trust. The first one is to discuss the idea. Essentially, the idea revolves around us aligning both organisations' renewal work with each other. So that was the first session to talk about the opportunity. We then went on a bit of a tour with a couple of staff from SA Housing Trust. From there, they've come back with us. They're currently looking at Goodman Road, might be the road that they're looking at. So I guess now we'll do some more detailed scoping. Initially, what we're thinking internally is there's an opportunity to align our renewal program and our uplift work through the existing city operations budget. But I guess share more information as it progresses.
Councillor Baker, do you have another question?
Second question. Thank you, Mr Mayor. Mr Mayor, I'd like to ask the CEO to advise the Chamber of the awards received at the Local Government Association function last Friday.
Mr Green.
Through the Mayor, thanks for the question, Councillor Baker. Just to be clear, it was not the Local Government Association, it was the Local Government Professionals Australia, which is a body that supports essentially council administration. So I just want to be clear, it wasn't the LGA, they are two different entities. It's an annual awards event where councils from around the state are able to submit applications into a number of categories. There's probably, at a guess, 8 or 9 awards on offer. We were shortlisted in 3 categories. I'll get the names probably slightly wrong, but essentially economic development, community services, and a category around sort of inclusiveness. And we were a finalist in those 3 categories, and we were fortunate enough to win all 3, which was fantastic. I've attended this awards night for a number of years and never had a situation where we were successful in every category that we were shortlisted as a finalist. So that was fantastic. And my colleague here, Sarah, has just helped me out with the actual award titles. So Excellence in Local Economic Development, which went to us because of through our Northern Adelaide Jobs and Careers Expo. Excellence in Community Services and Development, which was the Belonging in the North initiative that we ran, and Excellence in Diversity and Inclusion, which was Pathways to Purpose. So really proud of our team. A number of people across the organisation worked really hard on these, and they were thrilled at being recognised amongst our local government peers, and it really does present Playford in a positive light. There was 570 representatives of local government there on that night, and all of them would have left having heard Playford's name read out more than anyone else's, which was nice. It's also the night where they announced the Local Government Management Challenge winners, which is a professional development type initiative that the LG professionals run. And whilst we didn't finish first, second or third, I can guarantee you that our team represented Playford really positively and learned a lot and grew a lot through the initiative. So yeah, really nice to do that, and there was a lot of proud Playford people Friday night, and I'm sure that's built into this week as well. Thank you.
Before I take Councillor Rentoulis, is there anyone else wishing to make a representation in relation to the 2026-27 business plan in accordance with section 123 of the Local Government Act? There's no one in the gallery wishing to be heard, and there's no one in the Great Hall. We'll continue with questions without notice. Councillor Rentoulis.
Thank you, Mr Mayor. It's in relation to Council Resolution 6455. Can staff please provide an update in relation to the application lodged for black spot funding in relation to King Road and Penfield Road at Virginia in Council Resolution 6455. Okay with that?
Mr Whitford.
Thank you very much for the question. Through the Mayor, sorry. So DIT have advised that they did make that application back in January. It is now with the Federal Department for Transport, who are actively reviewing the applications, and the advice is that we would expect some announcements within the next 2 to 3 weeks. Thank you.
Do you have a further question, Councillor Rentoulis?
Yeah, I do. Does staff have an opinion on the success or otherwise of the application, or not? Are we likely to be successful or not? Or you don't know? Okay, that's right.
Mr Whitford, can I get you to answer the question at the podium so that if there's anyone listening at home, they can hear the response?
Through the Mayor, yes, we have no opinion on whether the application will be successful, so no.
Are there any other questions without notice? If not, I'm presuming Councillors Kerrison, Baker and Rentoulis would like their questions and the accompanying responses put through the minutes. Does someone wish to move that way? Moved by Councillor Rentoulis, seconded by Councillor Kerrison. I'm presuming the mover and seconder aren't wishing to speak on that. Does any other councillor wish to speak on that? If not, then I'll put that. Those in favour, those against, I declare that carried. We go to item 10, petitions which are nil. Item 11, which is the public hearing, which is still going. So I will ask, is there anybody in the public gallery or surrounds wishing to make a representation in relation to the 2026-27 business plan? In accordance with section 123 of the Local Government Act 1999, a council must invite interested persons to attend a public meeting to ask questions and make submissions in relation to the draft annual business plan for a period of at least 1 hour. As there is nobody else in the gallery, we will continue with our meeting. We go to item 12, motions on notice which are nil. Go to item 13, motions without notice. Are there any motions? No. Then we go to item 14. 14.1, hardship policy and procedure and debt recovery procedure on page 9. Councillor Onyezans.
Yeah, happy to move that, Mayor. Committee recommendation, thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Onyzans. Does the item find a seconder? Councillor Smiljanic. Yes, happy to speak or not? All right. I'm presuming the mover and seconder aren't wishing to speak? No. Is any other councillor that wish to speak? If not, then I will put that. Those in favour? Those against? I declare that carried. We move to item 14.2, Amendment to Delegations Register on page 48. Councillor Halls.
Staff recommendation.
Thank you, Councillor Halls. Does the item find a seconder? Councillor Baker. Councillor Baker seconds. Just getting through these items here. Are there any other councillors wishing to speak on the item? If not, then I'll put that. Those in favour? Those against? I declare that carried. We move to item 14.3, Community Support and Grant Program, 25-26 Community Development Grant Round 2. So I know some members have made a declaration, so we'll just wait for those members to leave the room. Somebody wish to move? Councillor Marsh.
Don't need to speak, happy to move it.
Okay, we have the item moved. Does it find a seconder? Councillor Onyzans.
Happy to move. Second.
Second. Yes, I made a second. Are there any councillors wishing to speak? If not, then I'll put that. Those in favour? Those against? I declare that carried. We'll just wait for our members to return. All right, councillors, I'll just call for, is there anybody in the public gallery or near surrounds that wishes to make a representation in relation to the 2026-27 business plans? In accordance with section 123 of the Local Government Act 1999, a council must invite interested persons to attend a public meeting to ask questions and make submissions in relation to the draft annual business plan for a period of at least 1 hour. Are there any members of the gallery wishing to make a representation? Are there anyone in the Great Hall? No. So we'll continue on and we'll move to item 15.1, 2026 LGA Ordinary General Meeting, Playford Position Paper on page 118. Councillor Kerrison.
Thank you, Mayor Doherty. Before I look at moving it, I'd like to ask a quick question. Page 123, 7.1. It's regarding the unfair burden of the construction industry fund on rural councils. Now, we are supporting that, and I understand it might be imposed upon urban councils, but it's also imposed upon our ratepayers as well. So I wouldn't think we're classified as a rural council, so I just want to see what the impact on that might be upon our council.
Who would like to take that on? I do note that Mr John Roberts is the responsible officer and is sitting in the back of the room. But Mr Welsh is going to step up and take the question. Mr Welsh.
Through the Mayor, Councillor, is the question about what the financial impact would be on our organisation?
Sorry?
Is the question what the financial impact would be on our organisation? Yeah, I don't have that information. We haven't done that level analysis, other than to say it would add costs significantly to all of our maintenance work. We haven't done that, detailed modelling to say this is what we think the cost would be for the City of Playford.
Yeah. So in essence, that the state government's increasing the fees, and it's obviously input to the LGA that they'd argue that it shouldn't be burdened upon rural councils. So it'll affect all city councils, but not rural councils. And I think it would have been nice to know what the impact that might be on our council and how that's going to look. And I didn't have all that detail or time to go searching for it further, but thank you. So, Mayor Doherty, I'm happy to move that direction with one amendment. And the amendment is 9.1, that we do not support stronger advocacy for tree damaging activity penalties. All right, and the reason I'm moving that way is in recent times, as a report showed, the penalties for removing trees for illegal activity has gone from 30,000 to 120,000, which is quite significant. The issue that's been highlighted in the report is that the courts aren't being as strong on those penalties as councils may like, and I'm not sure that it's that I'm prepared to argue with the court here and say that we should be having stronger penalties. I think those penalties are quite significant. And right at this point in time, given where we are in this state, the removal of significant trees from our parklands, we're going to go to the government and ask for removal of, for an increase of fees on those trees. So I'd like to not support that, and I'm moving that way.
Thank you, Councillor Kerrison. Is the item find a seconder? Seconder, Councillor Rentalvis.
I'm happy to support that. No need to speak, thank you.
All right, so councillors, we've got the recommendation, which is the endorse everything except for a change, which would be that we, for item 9.1 inside the report, I think that was page 124, I think, from Councillor Kerrison's point, that we don't support that item, where currently it says we support, we just change that to don't support. So the item's been moved in a second. Does anyone wish to speak on the item? Councillor Small-Janik.
Thank you. I just have a question for Council with regards to that 9.1 with regards to the advocacy of the stronger tree damaging activity penalties, and I guess one being their thoughts on how this may affect our tree canopy strategy, and perhaps how this could essentially affect developers in our area, noting that in particular, that 9.1 is for unlawful tree damage versus, I guess, going through the right avenues through our council and the appropriate organisations and sections within our council.
Mr Green.
Through the chair, thank you, Councillor Small-Janik. Look, in simple terms, we took the view that an increase in penalties would act as a more significant deterrent for people to undertake tree damaging activity, which is obviously a concern in any case. So that was why we took the position that we did. Yeah.
Any other councillors wishing to speak or ask a question? Councillor Small-Janik.
Thank you. I just want to make a comment with regards to, I guess, that alternate change. For me, I do respect the fact that Councillor Kerrison has brought this forward. However, it doesn't align with the idea of having our trees and the tree canopy strategy, and to do with people who are clearly not doing the correct thing in our city. So for me, at this present stage, I personally would support the explanation, advocating for an increase for greater unlawful activity and the cost increase. And I just want to hear if there is any other councillors that may have any ideas, but yeah, that's where I'm sitting at the moment.
Councillor Reefy.
Thank you, Mr Mayor. Look, I support staff recommendation in relation to, their explanation. We've got a tree canopy. I think, if we want to really protect that, the stronger penalties will create a deterrence, as our CEO said. It's a straightforward thing, in my opinion, and I'm happy to support staff recommendation on this one.
There's no other discussion. Councillor Kerrison. Oh, Councillor Marsh has the... Councillor Marsh.
Yeah, thanks, Mayor Doherty. Curly one. Can I just ask staff, is it just around the strengthening and increasing the fine, or is it actually us implementing fines or having a better process for fines to be given that also need to be strengthened? So it's all great to have smoke and mirrors and increase your fines from a dollar value to another dollar value, but that doesn't mean anything if the processes themselves are failing to get the current desired maximum penalty.
Mr Green.
Thank you, Councillor Marsh. The position that's put forward for consideration at the annual general meeting that we're being asked to consider is for advocacy to the state government and relevant ministers around the implementation of stricter penalties. So it's the advocacy would be around that. It's not around a change to the process or the like. It's just that the penalties that are currently in place are, according to the council that put this motion forward, not sufficient to adequately deter people from undertaking tree damaging activity.
So in most respect, CEO, I go back to my question. Is this of our highest view that we support this because it will get the greatest outcome that's required to further address illegal tree activity, or is this, in our view, one of the lower recommendations if we were to pursue this agenda? Where does this sit in the overall scope of increasing penalties or deterring illegal acts from happening?
Through the Mayor, I do understand the question, Councillor Marsh. We simply were only asked one issue, and that is to consider whether we thought stricter penalties would be a good idea or not as a deterrent. We haven't turned our mind to whether the system as a whole needs overhaul. This was just a simple issue for us to decide, did we think that a high level of penalties would act as a greater deterrent? And we thought that, yes, that's probably the case.
If there's no one else wishing to speak, Councillor Kerrison has the right to close if he wishes.
All right. Look, I appreciate everyone's thoughts on this, and obviously we all want to protect our tree canopy, and we've got a strategy to grow our tree canopy. So I think that's important. I think the residents that I speak to regularly have problem trees. There's trees that I've got where people are saying they're affecting their foundations, and even though I'm not a building inspector or an engineer, I'm concerned about the root of these trees. The residents respect the rules, and I think the current penalties in place, going from 30 to 120,000, is a significant deterrent. All right, so I'm not sure many people are going to touch their trees going, I could be up for $120,000. So if someone's going to do it for $120,000, they're probably going to run the gauntlet no matter what the fine is. I'm not sure it's an active deterrent. The issue being highlighted here is the courts imposing a lower penalty than the maximum fines. So therefore, it's still going to go before the courts, and no matter what the upper limit is, the courts may deem that as to be unreasonable. All right, and if you've got a mum or dad and they've got a tree in the backyard, they remove it with knowledge or without knowledge, a $120,000 fine for anyone removing a tree is very significant. Do you know anyone who's going to put their hand up knowing you remove a tree, knowing it could be $120,000? Because it's not me. So I think, really, I don't support increasing the penalty. We need a constructive way forward, and increasing the penalty on removing a tree, to me, is not the answer. You know, and as I say, problem trees, we've got residents everywhere, problem trees. They're not removing the trees. They ring me up, they explain their circumstances. You know, and often there's one in Hillbank. It's a beautiful tree. I think it's great. Would I want to live there? It's lifting the pavement, it's lifting the curbing, it's being a nuisance to them, it's lifting their concrete. All right, it's got power lines running through the centre of it. It's unfortunately the right tree in the wrong location. So strategically, all right, we need a better plan. I think we need to grow our tree canopy, but we need a better way forward. When there's the right tree in the wrong location, we need a better alternative. Just going forward and saying, increasing the fines and penalties to penalise people, all right, I don't think it's the answer. We need something holistic, all right? So I'd be encouraging us all to say no to this, and let's go back to the drawing table and let's look at a holistic plan, all right, that makes sense across the board. Thank you.
All right, councillors, we have a motion that is before us, been moved and seconded. I'll put that. Those in favour? Those against? The item is lost. Division's been called by, who called that, sorry? Councillor Arifi. Division's been called by Councillor Arifi, so the motion is set aside. Those voting for the motion, if they can rise in their place. For the minute taker, Councillor Kerrison, Councillor Rentoulis, Councillor Craig. So the item is lost. So thank you, councillors. I declare that the motion lost. Now, councillors, I just want to remind you, currently we have no position paper. So if councillors wish to move something, because at the moment there is no position paper for council to the LGA. So you can move either a recommendation or any other version of, if you wish the council to have a recommendation to go to the LGA. Councillor Smil-Janek.
Thank you, Mayor Doherty. Noting that we do have a staff recommendation in front of us, I would like to move that we endorse the LGA Ordinary General Meeting 2026 agenda items for the Playford position paper, and also dot point number 2, and no changes, and support as required. Just with regards to the comments on not supporting 9.1 in the previous discussion point, I do respect and I do understand from a financial point of view. I don't think council would be unreasonable to listening to our residents. It's more so from a bigger developer point of view, where we can deter and save those trees where we are able to. Thank you for bringing it forward. However, I do support that we increase the cost and deter it that way. Thank you.
So you're moving the staff recommendation in a sense. Yep. So final seconder, Councillor Arifi.
Yep, happy to second that.
Second. Any other councillors wishing to speak? Councillor Kerrison.
Yeah, I just wish to highlight that in the report it was $120,000 per tree, but for developers, I think it was something up to 5 times that, so it was up to $600,000. So, you know, I think even for a developer that is rather significant as well, but thank you.
Are there any other councillors wishing to speak? If not, then I will put that. Those in favour, those against. Make sure everyone votes. I declare the item carried. Division's been called by Councillor Arifi. The motion is to decide those voting for the item, if they could rise in their place. So for the minute taker, that's Councillor Marsh, Councillor Baker, Councillor Onyazans, Councillor Arifi, Councillor Vanderpeer, Councillor Carlson, Councillor Halls, Rentoulis, Smallwood-Smith, Bayani, Smil-Janek and Craig. So the item is carried. Now, councillors, we have gone over our 1 hour allotted time for our public hearing for the 2026-27 business plan. Before I'll close, I will make one last call for any members of the gallery or anyone in the near facility who wishes to make a representation in relation to the 2026-27 business plan. In accordance with section 123 of the Local Government Act 1999, a council must invite interested persons to attend a public meeting to ask questions and make submissions in relation to the draft annual business plan for a period of at least 1 hour. There are no members of the gallery present. Are there any members in the near surrounds that you can see, or members of the public who wish to make a representation? If not, then councillors, as we've gone over our 1 hour allotment, I will close the public hearing for the 2026-27 business plan at 13 minutes past 8. So the public hearing is now closed. We'll continue on in our agenda, so we'll move to item 15.2, Local Government Advice Scheme Consultation, on page 227. Councillor Baker.
Move the recommendation.
Thank you, Councillor Baker. Does the item find a seconder? Councillor Bayani.
Yeah, happy to second.
Thank you, Councillor Bayani. Does any other councillor wish to speak on the item? If not, then I'll put that. Those in favour, those against, I declare that carried. We move to item 15.3, Corporate Governance Committee Communique on page 272. Councillor Onyazans.
Happy to move the staff recommendation, Mayor.
Thank you, Councillor Onyazans. Find a seconder. Councillor Halls.
Happy to second that, thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Halls. Does any other councillor wish to speak on the item? If not, then I'll put that. Those in favour, those against, I declare that carried. Move to item 15.4, Budget Update Report on page 276. Councillor Marsh.
Don't need to speak.
Happy to move it. Yes, moved by Councillor Marsh as the item final seconder. Councillor Halls.
Happy to second that, thank you.
Councillor Halls seconds. Does any other councillor wish to speak on the item? If not, then I'll put that. Those in favour, those against, I declare that carried. Move to item 16, which is informal discussion nil. Go to item 17, confidential matters. We'll go to item 17.1, Norma Prudential Report on page 286. So, councillors, pursuant to section 92 of the Local Government Act 1999, an order is made that the public be excluded from attendance at the meeting with the exception of the staff that are listed on the screen. And this is in order to consider items under section 93B of the Local Government Act. Does somebody wish to move that way? Councillor Halls.
Yes, move the recommendation.
Thank you, Councillor Halls. The item final seconder, Councillor Onuzans.
Happy to second.
The item's been moved and seconded. Does any other councillors wish to speak on that item? If not, then I'll put that. Those in favour, those against, I declare that carried. I ask that the gallery be vacated and that the doors be closed.
Did you know your food scraps should go in the green bin or a home compost system? It's better for the environment. It's the right thing to do. And it's easy. Fight food waste by putting all your food scraps, peels and leftovers in the green bin. To find out more, visit playford.sa.gov.au/fightfoodwaste.
Want to know what's happening in the community? Subscribe to our e-newsletter, Playford News, at playford.sa.gov.au, and you'll be on top of stories, news and what's happening in Playford. It's local news for local people.
Want to get involved in your community? There are so many benefits in becoming a volunteer at City of Playford, including meeting new people, developing new skills, sharing your talents, improving your employability, as well as enhancing your own mental health and well-being.
If you want to learn more about how to volunteer with us, visit playford.sa.gov.au/volunteers.
We'll move to item 17.2, Norma Draft Annual Plan and Budget 26-27 and Cash Advance Debenture Facility on page 289. We have a recommendation pursuant to section 92 of the Local Government Act 1999 that an order is made that the public be excluded from attendance at the meeting with the exception of the staff listed on the screen under section 93G of the Local Government Act. Does somebody wish to move that way? Councillor Halls.
Move the recommendation.
Thank you, Councillor Halls. It's been moved as the item final seconder. Councillor Onuzans.
Happy to second that, Mayor. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Onuzans. Does any other councillor wish to speak? If not, then I'll put the recommendation that is before us. All those in favour, those against, I declare that carried. I ask that the gallery be vacated and that the doors be closed.
Did you know your food scraps should go in the green bin or a home compost system? It's better for the environment. It's the right thing to do. And it's easy. Fight food waste by putting all your food scraps, peels and leftovers in the green bin. To find out more, visit playford.sa.gov.au/fightfoodwaste.
Want to know what's happening in the community? Subscribe to our e-newsletter, Playford News, at playford.sa.gov.au, and you'll be on top of stories, news and what's happening in Playford. It's local news for local people.
Want to get involved in your community? There are so many benefits in becoming a volunteer at City of Playford, including meeting new people, developing new skills, sharing your talents, improving your employability.
Okay, councillors, we'll just wait for members to return. Move on to item 17.3, and I'll ask Councillor Carlson if she can take the chair.
Okay, we have a motion to go in confidence on page 117. Do we have a mover to go into confidence? Councillor Reefy?
Move that.
Thank you. Someone wish to second that? Councillor Small-Smith?
I seconded that, thank you.
Thank you. Is there anyone wishing to speak? All in favour? Anyone against? Declare that carried. Thank you. And for the doors to be closed, please. Thank you.
Did you know your food scraps should go in the green bin or a home compost system? It's better for the environment. It's the right thing to do. And it's easy. Fight food waste by putting all your food scraps, peels and leftovers in the green bin. To find out more, visit playford.sa.gov.au/fightfoodwaste.
Want to know what's happening in the community? Subscribe to our e-newsletter, Playford News, at playford.sa.gov.au, and you'll be on top of stories, news and what's happening in Playford. It's local news for local people.
Want to get involved in your community? There are so many benefits in becoming a volunteer at City of Playford, including meeting new people, developing new skills, sharing your talents, improving your employability, as well as enhancing your own mental health and well-being.
If you want to learn more about how to volunteer with us, visit playford.sa.gov.au/volunteers. Feedback about our city's future from our community is really important. It helps us prioritise your needs when planning services, projects and other initiatives.
A convenient way to have your say and stay in the loop on any upcoming consultations is by registering your details on our Engagement Hub website at playford.engagementhub.com.au.
We look forward to hearing from you.
Have you visited the Stratton Centre on Peachy Road, Manapara? Designed to support growth in the city of Playford, the centre offers dedicated workspaces from less than $10 per day. There's also state-of-the-art event and meeting spaces for hire, a complimentary business support service to help you upskill, apply for grants and grow, workshops and networking, as well as training for young kids right through to adults. Plus, the City of Playford Library.
Contact our team for a tour on 8254 4666 or visit the Stratton Centre at 307 Peachy Road, Manopara.
Support your local theatre and arts industry and enjoy a show at the Shedley. Playford's iconic Shedley Theatre is bringing a great selection of local and national performances to Elizabeth.
For more information on their upcoming shows, visit theshedley.com.au or call 8256 0500.
Did you know your food scraps should go in the green bin or a home compost system? It's better for the environment. It's the right thing to do. And it's easy. Fight food waste by putting all your food scraps, peels and leftovers in the green bin. To find out more, visit playford.sa.gov.au/fightfoodwaste.
Want to know what's happening in the community? Subscribe to our e-newsletter, Playford News, at playford.sa.gov.au and you'll be on top of stories, news and what's happening in Playford. It's local news for local people.
Want to get involved in your community? There are so many benefits in becoming a volunteer at City of Playford, including meeting new people, developing new skills, sharing your talents, improving your employability, as well as enhancing your own mental health and well-being.
If you want to learn more about how to volunteer with us, visit playford.sa.gov.au/volunteers. Feedback about our city's future from our community is really important. It helps us prioritise your needs when planning services, projects and other initiatives.
A convenient way to have your say and stay in the loop on any upcoming consultations is by registering your details on our Engagement Hub website at playford.engagementhub.com.au.
We look forward to hearing from you.
Have you visited the Stratton Centre on Peachy Road, Manapara? Designed to support growth in the city of Playford, the centre offers dedicated workspaces from less than $10 per day. There's also state-of-the-art event and meeting spaces for hire, a complimentary business support service to help you upskill, apply for grants and grow, workshops and networking, as well as training for young kids right through to adults. Plus, the City of Playford Library.
Contact our team for a tour on 8254 4666 or visit the Stratton Centre at 307 Peachy Road, Manopara.
Support your local theatre and arts industry and enjoy a show at the Shedley. Playford's iconic Shedley Theatre is bringing a great selection of local and national performances to Elizabeth.
For more information on their upcoming shows, visit theshedley.com.au or call 8256 0500.
Did you know your food scraps should go in the green bin or a home compost system? It's better for the environment. It's the right thing to do. And it's easy. Fight food waste by putting all your food scraps, peels and leftovers in the green bin. To find out more, visit playford.sa.gov.au/fightfoodwaste.
Want to know what's happening in the community? Subscribe to our e-newsletter, Playford News, at playford.sa.gov.au and you'll be on top of stories, news and what's happening in Playford. It's local news for local people.
Want to get involved in your community? There are so many benefits in becoming a volunteer at City of Playford, including meeting new people, developing new skills, sharing your talents, improving your employability, as well as enhancing your own mental health and well-being.
If you want to learn more about how to volunteer with us, visit playford.sa.gov.au/volunteers. Feedback about our city's future from our community is really important. It helps us prioritise your needs when planning services, projects and other initiatives.
A convenient way to have your say and stay in the loop on any upcoming consultations is by registering your details on our Engagement Hub website at playford.engagementhub.com.au.
We look forward to hearing from you.
Have you visited the Stratton Centre on Peachy Road, Manapara? Designed to support growth in the City of Playford, the centre offers dedicated workspaces from less than $10 per day. There's also state-of-the-art event and meeting spaces for hire, a complimentary business support service to help you upskill, apply for grants and grow, workshops and networking, as well as training for young kids right through to adults. Plus, the City of Playford Library.
Contact our team for a tour.
Okay, councillors, we'll go to our last item, which is item 18, which is closure. There's no other items on the agenda, and I close the meeting at 8:33 p.m, and thank you for your attendance.
Did you know your food scraps should go in the green bin or a home compost system? It's better for the environment. It's the right thing to do. And it's easy. Fight food waste by putting all your food scraps, peels and leftovers in the green bin. To find out more, visit playford.sa.gov.au/fightfoodwaste.
Want to know what's happening in the community?